I would think it was the most rewarding experience in the world. As a matter of fact, I put the deal together.
You won't believe what was uncovered inside Joan Crawford's estate. Brace yourself for a shocking revelation that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the Hollywood legend. In this jaw-dropping video, we dive deep into the mansion where Crawford spent her final years, and trust us, what we found isn't what you expect. From mysterious objects tucked away in hidden rooms to unsettling memorabilia that could give you nightmares, you won't believe your eyes. And yes, we're talking about some seriously creepy stuff, things that might just send chills down your spine. Was Joan hiding dark secrets behind her glamorous persona? Or is there something even more sinister lurking in her legacy? You need to see this for yourself. Hit that play button because once you see what we found, you'll never look at Joan Crawford the same way again. A Star is Born, The Journey of Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford, born Lucille Fay LeSueur in 1904, rose from humble beginnings to become one of Hollywood's most iconic actresses. Her journey from the poverty-stricken streets of San Antonio, Texas, to the glamorous world of Hollywood was marked by struggle, resilience, and determination. Crawford's early life, filled with hardship and emotional turmoil, ultimately shaped the woman she would become both in front of the camera and behind closed doors. A tough start, struggles at home. Joan Crawford's childhood was anything but easy. Born to a mother who struggled to raise her after her father abandoned the family before she was born, Crawford's early years were marked by instability. Her mother, unable to support the family alone, often worked multiple jobs, leaving Joan to fend for herself. Poverty was a constant presence in the Crawford household, forcing Joan to grow up quickly and develop a strong sense of independence. Despite the emotional hardship and financial strain, Joan's resilience shone through. She learned early on how to survive and adapt to a life full of challenges, and this tenacity would become one of her defining traits. Joan's turbulent home life, coupled with her personal struggles, set the foundation for the complex persona she would later present to the world. Her childhood experiences of abandonment, financial instability, and the harsh realities of life shaped her understanding of what it took to survive and thrive despite the odds. From Texas to Hollywood, the road to fame. Joan Crawford's journey to Hollywood wasn't the typical rags-to-riches story many people imagine when they think of aspiring stars. Unlike those who had a smoother entry into the film industry, Joan had to fight for her place in a fiercely competitive and often unforgiving industry. After finishing high school, Joan left her small-town life behind and moved to New York City, where she worked as a dancer and chorus girl to make ends meet. It was in New York that Joan was discovered by an MGM talent scout, marking the beginning of her transformation into a Hollywood star. However, even after she arrived in Hollywood, Joan's struggles were far from over. In an industry where looks and talent weren't always enough, Joan had to work tirelessly to carve out a place for herself. The pressure of the entertainment world, the constant scrutiny, and the competition were formidable challenges that Joan faced head-on. Despite these obstacles, she managed to secure roles and build her career, becoming one of the most recognized names in Hollywood. In 1928, Joan's big break came when she landed a role in Our Dancing Daughters, a film that captured the spirit of the flaming youth of the 1920s. The film's success catapulted her into the limelight, and she became known for her glamorous yet rebellious image. With her stunning looks, undeniable charisma, and acting chops, Joan quickly rose to fame and became one of the most talked-about actresses of the era. Behind the glamour, survival, and sacrifice. What many people didn't realize was that Joan's path to stardom wasn't paved only with beauty and talent. It also required enormous personal sacrifice and emotional resilience. Behind the glamorous facade of Hollywood fame, Joan's life was filled with personal struggles and challenges that were not visible to the public eye. To make it in the industry, Joan often had to reinvent herself, adapt to the demands of her career, and constantly prove her worth in a world that didn't always treat women kindly. For Joan, Hollywood represented more than just fame. It was an escape from the chaos of her early life. The bright lights and red carpets offered her a sense of control over a world that had often felt beyond her grasp. Yet even as she climbed the ranks of stardom, Joan struggled to find inner peace. She battled with her personal demons, including difficult relationships, and often sought solace in her home, the very place where she would later confront the lingering turmoil of her past. Her career in Hollywood required immense strength and resilience, and Joan often pushed herself to the limit, both physically and emotionally. Her sacrifices were many, including the toll that her demanding work schedule took on her health and well-being. But despite the personal sacrifices and emotional costs, Joan's ambition and determination kept her moving forward, cementing her place as one of the greatest actresses of her time. The Unsettling Truth: A Legacy of Peace and Pain. Joan Crawford's public image as a glamorous and hard-working actress was built on years of perseverance and sacrifice. However, behind the carefully crafted image lay a complex and tumultuous personal life. The same ambition and drive that made Joan one of Hollywood's most successful stars also led to a series of personal battles, many of which played out behind closed doors. These struggles, both professional and personal, were part of the foundation of Joan's legacy. While Joan achieved remarkable success, the peace she so desperately sought often eluded her. Her estate, where she spent her later years, became a symbol of both comfort and chaos. It was here that she faced some of her most difficult challenges, attempting to reconcile her public persona with her personal pain. The mansion, filled with opulence, was also filled with ghosts from her past, and Joan struggled to find peace in a life that often seemed out of control. Joan's story is one of resilience, but it is also a tale of sacrifice and the constant search for inner peace amidst chaos. Her legacy is a complex one, a blend of glamour, struggle, and ambition, but also pain and longing. As the woman behind the camera and the star on screen, Joan Crawford's life was a testament to the lengths one must go to survive in an industry that demands everything. Despite the hardships she endured, Joan's rise to fame remains one of the most remarkable stories in Hollywood history. Joan's motherhood, love or control. Joan Crawford's relationship with motherhood has always been a subject of controversy, with her adoption of 2 children, Christina and Christopher, at the heart of it. While she often portrayed herself as the doting, loving mother in public, the reality of her home life was far more complicated, and some would argue, much darker. The public image: a loving mother? Joan's public image as a loving and devoted mother was carefully crafted to fit the image of a Hollywood star. She adopted Christina and Christopher during the height of her fame, and their presence in her life seemed to complement her persona as a successful and nurturing woman. In interviews and appearances, she often portrayed motherhood as a key part of her identity, giving the impression of a woman who cherished her children and had a warm, loving home. However, behind the closed doors of their home, things were far from ideal. Christina's revelations: a chilling portrait of abuse. Christina Crawford's explosive memoir, Mommy Dearest, unveiled a disturbing side of Joan's maternal behavior that shocked the public. The memoir depicted Joan as a mother consumed by control and perfection, with no regard for the emotional well-being of her children. Christina detailed instances of physical and emotional abuse, where Joan would erupt into violent rages over trivial matters. One of the most infamous incidents described in the book was Joan's obsession with cleanliness. She demanded perfection in every aspect of their lives, and if her children failed to meet her exacting standards, they were harshly punished. Christina recounted one of the most notorious moments: Joan's intense fury over wire hangers in her closet. The phrase "no wire hangers" became a symbol of Joan's controlling nature, but it was just one example of her larger obsession with order and perfection. A toxic mothering style: control over love. Christina's portrayal of her mother painted a stark contrast to the idealized version of Joan as a loving parent. Joan's mothering was far less about compassion and nurturing, and much more about control. She ruled her household with an iron fist, and there was little room for love or warmth in her interactions with her children. The drive for perfection and the need to maintain an image of flawless control created an atmosphere of fear and tension. This toxic energy extended beyond her relationship with her children and permeated the entire household. Joan's strict, often cruel behavior seemed to seep into every aspect of her life, turning her home into a place of emotional turmoil rather than comfort, a haunted heaven. In the 1950s, Joan Crawford purchased a luxurious estate in Beverly Hills, which would soon become infamous for its eerie and mysterious happenings. What began as a modest cottage soon morphed into an expansive mansion under Joan's watchful eye. The actress, known for her perfectionism and attention to detail, designed every room to reflect her high standards and vision. However, what Joan didn't realize was that she was unknowingly setting the stage for a chilling chapter in her life, one where the mansion would become more than just a home. The transformation, a mansion with secrets. When Joan first acquired the property, it was far from the grand estate it would eventually become. The estate, which started as a small cottage, underwent significant renovations to meet Joan's high expectations and personal aesthetic. As the building grew, so did Joan's vision of the perfect home. Every corner was designed to exude luxury and style, reflecting the actress's desire for elegance and beauty. However, with every renovation, strange and unsettling occurrences began to emerge, suggesting that something beyond Joan's control was at work within the walls of the expanding mansion. Joan had envisioned this house as a sanctuary, a place where she could find peace and solace. Yet little did she know the energy within the house was becoming anything but peaceful. A dark atmosphere, the unseen forces at play. Once Joan moved into the finished mansion, visitors and residents alike began to report strange occurrences. Those who visited the property started to notice a dramatic shift in the atmosphere. Sudden cold spots appeared in various rooms, causing an inexplicable chill to fill the air. Lights would flicker without warning, and a feeling of unease would take over the space. Guests often spoke of an overwhelming sensation that something or someone was lurking just out of sight, watching them from the shadows. These eerie experiences couldn't simply be brushed off as coincidences. The house quickly developed a reputation for being haunted, with many attributing its unsettling atmosphere to unseen forces at play. Joan, known for her fiery temperament and tumultuous relationships, especially with men, became a key figure in the eerie happenings. Her emotional intensity and often violent nature may have contributed to the strange energy that seemed to linger in the mansion's walls. The haunted legacy, paranormal activity at Crawford's estate. As time passed, the mysterious occurrences at Joan's mansion intensified. It became clear that the estate was not just an ordinary residence, but a magnet for paranormal activity. The negative energy that stemmed from Joan's emotionally charged and tumultuous personal life seemed to have left an indelible mark on the house. Many who entered the mansion reported feeling the presence of something otherworldly, as though the very foundation of the estate was imbued with dark energy. Joan's complicated relationships and the emotional volatility she experienced throughout her life seemed to have left an imprint on the property. It was as if the house had absorbed the intense emotions, tension, and turmoil that she had carried with her, transforming the mansion into a place that was as haunted as it was luxurious. Visitors would frequently feel watched or followed, and some even claimed to see ghostly figures lurking within the rooms. These eerie encounters only grew more frequent and intense over the years, leading to the mansion being dubbed a haunted haven. Joan Crawford's mansion, once a symbol of opulence and elegance, became more than just a beautiful home. It turned into a chilling reminder of the personal struggles, tension, and darkness that had plagued the actress's life. The mansion would forever be known not just for its grandeur, but for the strange and unsettling paranormal activity that seemed to follow Joan's legacy long after her passing. The house that Joan Crawford so meticulously designed would eventually become a haunting reminder of the actress's complicated, mysterious, and dark past. the end of a star. Joan Crawford's death in May 1977 marked the end of an era in Hollywood. At the age of 73, the star who had once dazzled the world with her performances passed away, but her final moments were far from peaceful. The rumors surrounding her death are chilling and raise the question, was Joan's passing truly the end of her legacy, or did it mark the beginning of something darker? The final words, a haunting farewell. Joan's death was shrouded in mystery, and according to her daughter Christina, the moments leading up to her passing were filled with unsettling tension. Christina reported that Joan's last words were shocking. "Don't you dare ask God to help me." These words, filled with defiance and bitterness, seemed to reflect Joan's well-known arrogance and her complicated relationship with those around her. Her final moments appeared to be marked by a lingering sense of control. She died in a way that suggested she was still trying to maintain dominance, even in the face of death itself. A bitter legacy, the influence of Joan's spirit. With Joan's passing, many wondered whether her influence truly ended. Could the bitterness and need for control that defined her life have lingered in the house she had so carefully crafted? Some believe that Joan's spirit never truly left her Beverly Hills estate. The dark energy that seemed to pervade her home, combined with her intense personality, may have attached itself to the very walls of the mansion. Those who lived in or visited the house after her death reported continuing strange occurrences, suggesting that Joan's presence was far from gone. The House of Spirits, a continuing mystery. As the years went on, the strange happenings in Joan Crawford's mansion only seemed to intensify. It became a place where whispers of the past seemed to echo through the halls, and some claimed to have felt an unsettling presence in the very rooms Joan had meticulously designed. Could it be that Joan's spirit, marked by control and unresolved bitterness, remained trapped in the house? Or were the paranormal activities just a product of the house's dark history? Regardless, the mansion's connection to Joan's legacy didn't end with her death. It only seemed to deepen, adding a layer of haunting mystery to her already complex story. Was Joan Crawford's passing truly the end of her star power? Or did it simply mark the beginning of something far more sinister? What happened to people who lived there? After Joan Crawford passed away in 1977, her infamous Beverly Hills estate was sold and changed owners numerous times. But every new occupant experienced strange and unsettling occurrences that made the house feel almost cursed. From health issues to personal troubles, the property seemed to bring misfortune to those who lived there, making it a dark and eerie place, a pattern of unsettling experiences. Soon after Joan's death, the estate passed through the hands of several notable figures, including Donald O'Connor and Anthony Newley. However, none of them escaped the eerie atmosphere of the house. Those who moved in reported a series of strange events, including unexplained illnesses, mounting alcoholism, and deteriorating relationships. It seemed as though the property itself was a dark influence on the lives of its occupants. The energy in the house appeared toxic, with those who lived there feeling mentally and physically drained, as if the house was more than just a structure. It was a force in its own right, casting a long, ominous shadow over anyone who resided within it. Fires and paranormal activity, a new level of horror. The most disturbing chapter in the history of the house began when it was sold to a new couple. After moving in, they began experiencing terrifying and inexplicable events. The most frightening of these was a series of spontaneous fires that broke out behind the walls of the house. These flames appeared specifically in the area where Joan's bed had once been, and the cause was baffling. There was no clear explanation for why the fires would erupt in this particular spot. It was evident to the couple that this was no ordinary electrical issue. Something far darker was at play. Desperate for answers, they called in Reverend Rosalind Bruyere, a spiritual healer, to investigate the strange occurrences. A spiritual revelation, dark forces at play. Reverend Bruyere's investigation revealed chilling discoveries. She uncovered that the house wasn't simply haunted, it was teeming with spirits. Among the most disturbing revelations was the presence of evidence suggesting ritual abuse had taken place there. This suggested that the house had a history of involvement in dark and occult practices, which had attracted spirits from the underworld. These malevolent entities thrived in the house's dark atmosphere, feeding off the negative energy that had been building for years. As if that weren't terrifying enough, Bruyère made the most horrifying discovery of all. Bodies had been buried somewhere on the property, adding a sinister element to the house's already creepy legacy. Christina's haunting memories, a lingering presence. Christina Crawford, who spent part of her childhood in the house, later spoke about the strange energy she felt during her time there. She recalled vivid memories of seeing apparitions and hearing children's cries echoing through the walls. These unsettling experiences continued to haunt Christina throughout her life, further solidifying the idea that the house was a place forever marked by Joan's dark past. The spirits seemed to linger in the house, never truly leaving. It wasn't just a home for Christina. It was a constant reminder of the tragic and mysterious legacy that Joan Crawford had left behind, one that seemed to manifest in the form of lingering spirits and unexplainable phenomena. And there you have it. The chilling secrets hidden within Joan Crawford's estate that continue to haunt anyone who steps inside. Whether it's paranormal activity or the dark legacy of her past, this mansion holds more than just memories of Hollywood glamour. If you're brave enough to explore further, who knows what eerie surprises await? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more spine-tingling stories.